Maybe in Austin. Well, it is definitely 2 p.m. and we are well met. Welcome to the I Want to Be a Voice Actor 2, aka How to Ruin Your Life. Yay! right off the dome. Cool. Would you like to start by introducing
Sure.
yourself?
I'm the one that's not listed on the program. My name's Brett Weaver. I've been doing voice acting for 26 years. You might have heard my voice in Attack on Titan as Gunther, or Mr. One and Captain Morgan on One Piece, or as Nabishin on Excel Saga, or Toji and the Evangelion movies, or as Terrorist number 2 on Burn Up W. Yeah, so I live down in Austin, and Jessica said, "Hey, Brett, come up and do this thing," and I said, "Okay."
That's also kind of how we met.
Yeah, she said, "Brett, come up here and do this thing," and I said, "Okay."
I normally would mean that, but I did. This is a family-friendly establishment. Already putting my foot straight into my face. Hello, that's right. Yeah, it was very innocent. You were making gumbo, and so that's how that happened. Anyway, skip it. Hi, I'm Jessica Calvello. I'm already here to myself. What's up? It'll happen all weekend. I don't know how the rest of my comrades feel up here. I don't love pictures and video during the panel unless you're on staff. Unless you're on staff, I just things are taken out of context, and it makes me uncomfortable. So I didn't even ask you guys if that was okay. I'm sorry.
I don't care.
Cool.
Whatever makes you comfortable.
I don't even know why I'm here.
I appreciate. Wow. Right.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But thank you. I'm Jessica Calvello. Oh my gosh. A show that no one's ever heard of, Attack on Titan. Has anyone ever heard of Attack on Titan?
What's that?
No, it's not really small. Yeah, small show, right? I play Hanji. Okay,
like,
wow.
one of the best
Are
girls.
you dead? I am. I'm so dead inside. Okay, and then I play Excel Saga, which is a super old ass anime that Harley also knows.
Thank you.
All right,
We
cool.
had fun.
Lots of others. Saudi Girls in Panzer, Cutie Honey and Cutie Honey. I mean, it has a Wikipedia. Is it updated? I don't freaking know. But it's nice to meet you. Obviously, we're here right now. We all have autograph panels and other panels throughout the week, except for Brett, who crashed it.
Yeah.
He says I invited him. I actually don't know who he is. I'm very uncomfortable right now. Just get over. All right, and next to my right and your left is the amazing
Aaron Roberts. I'm the voice of Broadway Woods, My Hero Academia, Castellets, and Clover, Uta, and Tokyo Ghoul. Also, the greatest character of all time, Benimaru from Fire Force. Anywho, this will be. I am thrilled to be here. Look at all you beautiful people. Thank you for having me out this weekend. I'm very excited. Oh yeah, I'm also an ADR director at Crunchyroll from time to time, and I directed season 4 of Data Live, if anyone gives a crap. If you think you know more about Data Live than me, you should come to my table, because I guarantee you don't. Alright, cool, on to the next one.
Hey everyone, my name is Oscar Seung.
Woo! You guys are live!
I voice Varus in Attack on Titan, Daruma in One Piece. I play Seung Gil Lee in Yuri on Ice. Yeah, and you can find me on Netflix. We Can Be Heroes, directed by Robert Rodriguez. I'm the random giant Asian in one second. Right next to Pedro Pascal, who's fucking hot in person.
He's hot on screen too.
Yeah. You catch me on Hulu, the Turkey Bowl, and I'm in a bunch of national commercials. I'm also a classically trained violinist, pianist, and I have a degree in opera, so I can sing opera.
Can you do your concert in Stowe? Can you do my concert in
No, I wish I
Stowe?
was there.
Can you guys do a double concert? Like
We almost did, but I don't have a conflicting act. We almost did.
You have another gig in town?
No,
I think if everyone in this room complains to management, we can make this happen.
Yeah. You know, you should just do your signing afterwards when I'm doing my signing and then crash my concert.
I don't know. I think this is a fan event. I think if you guys all want that.
You can make that.
Peer pressure.
Anyway, hi, I'm Emi Lo. You might know me as the voice of Rena in Higurashi, Suna in Demon Slayer, Bina in Genshin Impact, Destiny in Taka's Destiny, Shuta Doji in Fate Grand Order, Kate in Shadow's House. I'm looking at my bag because I honestly don't know. Uta in Bubble, and like some other stuff. So yeah, I talk into a microphone and pretend I know what I'm doing. I also direct, assisted direct and direct. I helped direct Ranking of Kings, Restaurant. Currently I'm helping with Sing Yesterday for Me, and Shoot, and some other stuff, so yeah. Oh yeah, I did music directing for Life Lessons with Uramichi, which...
Yeah, you're amazing. A wonderful music director, so yeah, I love you.
And I'm playing piano music later at 5:30.
Woo!
So, it'll be like Xenoblade music, and like Final Fantasy, and stuff so, you know. Yeah.
That's awesome. Are you doing any Demon Slayer music? There's a lot of piano in that too, right?
What?
Never mind. Oh, I said you're gonna do Demon Slayer music?
I'm not. It's mostly video game stuff because I like video games.
Nice. Hi, I'm Zeno Robinson. I think some of you know who I am. So I'm mostly known for playing Boy 1A and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It's like episode 3. It's my claim to fame. Outside of that, that was my magnum opus. So outside of that, I play Hawks in My Hero Academia. I'm Ogun in Fire Force, Hunter in the Owl House, Joe in Pokemon, a lot of other things. Most currently, Lu Wong in Link Click, and Thrash. Huh? Yeah, Romeo, Restaurants on the Road, which Emi directed. Yeah. And Thrash in Transformers Earthspark. So.
Oh, hi there, latecomer.
Yeah, right, sorry.
No,
He's too busy being famous and stuff.
This is a mile or two from where I was.
I know, same.
We hooked it here. Hey, I'm Griffin Burns. Most people know me from Genshin Impact and voice Tartaglia, or maybe as a child. I'm Muichiro in Demon Slayer, and Doppio in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Akira in Devil May Cry Baby, Cold Rice in Attack on Titan, and Ryota and Kakegurui, and a bunch of others. I'm also in a band called New Girlfriend. You should check us out. We're not playing it this weekend, but we got a new song that just came out a week ago. But yeah, I've been doing VO for about 13 years, and I live in LA, and I love it. And thanks so much for coming out.
Yes, nice.
Griffin, are you on Spotify? Is your band on Spotify?
Yes.
And what is the name of your band?
New Girlfriend. NEW Girlfriend.
Nice, awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Do we have a moderator for this panel? Or are we just...
We do!
So here's our moderator. Any of us can moderate. It'll be quite the different panel, depending on which one of us does it.
Yeah.
But Aaron,
It does appear as if there was a microphone there in that aisle there.
Yeah, I think that's usually for fan questions. Do you guys want to just take? Like, usually when I stuff like this, I feel like they have all the questions, and I was like, we can either talk for the 1,000th time about how we started, or we can just let them ask whatever they
I
want.
don't even think I remember how I started.
Yeah.
I lost you. How many of us in this panel are theater trash?
musical theater kid, total theater nerd, all my life. Yep, musical theater, all that. Same with Brett.
Is that what you guys? Do you guys want? Okay, I just show of hands. Do you guys want us to go over how we started, or so how we started? Raise of hands.
Listen, I believe that just
raise of hands. You guys just want to get to the questions. I feel like nobody. Why are we here? I see more hands for the life story than the people wanting to ask questions.
Yeah. I'll start. The year was 1977.
So we're like, oh, it's just hot outside. There's air conditioning in here. I didn't know there was going to be a town.
That's why I'm here.
Okay, so then you have to start. If that's
Okay, I'll start then. Yeah. my voiceover journey a long time ago. I did this program in LA called All About Kids. It was like 10 weeks of training in singing, dancing, and acting. And then I wrote a monologue and performed it in front of this agency who then signed me and sent me on my first voiceover audition, which happened to be for this little-known show called Benson Alien Force. 14 years ago. I was Alan in that show. He was like a part kid, part Pyronite, learned he hated flying. And then I didn't do anything for like 7 years. And I spent that time, and this is just a condensed version because we have like, what, an hour? There's like 8 of us here. Spent the time like taking classes, making demos, and auditioning, and I started auditioning. So the studio in LA would hold these open auditions at Anime Expo. So I would do those open auditions, and I actually got rejected twice before like auditioning and getting through the third time. And then my first job was I was incidentals on this anime called All Noah Zero. And I think after that, like Remy from Big City Greens happened, and then there was Cyborg and Young Justice and Craig of the Creek. That was all the same year. And then I auditioned. My name got put in to audition for My Hero Academia. I played Didor Sakaki from the Shiei Sakai, and then I auditioned for Hawks. And then my life changed after that too. That is like the Spark Notes version of how I got started. It was a lot of like training and like emails and sending my demos places, pretty much.
Can we hit the pause button real quick and let these two people on the end here introduce themselves?
Yeah, if you want to introduce yourself and also say how you got started in the voice acting industry, that would be
Two more players have arrived. Don't die.
Hi. Hi, I'm Gabriel Brown. I got started in voiceover probably 8 years ago in My Little Pony, and then I did some other stuff, and yeah, now I do a lot of stuff.
Who were you in My Little Pony?
I like mostly singing, actually.
He was like, I did My Little Pony and then everything else. Like, it just didn't matter after that. Yeah.
You go.
Okay. Hi. Sorry, we're
late.
Oh, we're late. Anyway, doesn't matter. My name is Claire. I have been doing voice acting since I was 5, maybe?
Wow.
5?
And you're 12.
I'm 12 now. Yep. And it's been a long ride, but I guess I was in My Little Pony as well. Dinosaur Train, some Barbie movies here and there, the new weird Bob the Builder, not the one that we probably all grew up watching, but the other ones.
There was another Bob.
Is it different one?
Yeah.
Bob the Builder down.
And one anime that no one knows.
I have follow-up questions.
No follow-up questions.
Yeah, somebody else has to talk about how they got started. I'm sorry, the people that spoke.
Do we want to just keep going this way?
Or
Brett!
can we open
Go
up?
to Griffin and then back over that way?
Sure. Yeah, I feel like our stories are going to be pretty similar, so we could do Q&A from the audience.
Yeah, let's just do Q&A.
Yeah.
That's what I voted. They voted for this.
Yeah.
They wanted it.
Who wants to ask questions?
Yeah.
Step right up. Step right up.
No one. That's why we voted for the story. They didn't figure it out.
Please form a line behind the microphone.
Yeah.
They heeded what we said at the beginning. They was like, I don't want my life ruined.
We
so
all
I'm
started the same way.
So we're not answering, okay.
Yeah, they're right here.
Great.
What is your name, sir?
My name's Elizabeth.
And I just...
Brett, goodbye, Brett.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Bye. Sorry I didn't invite you here. Go ahead.
What is your question, young person?
I'm wondering, what's probably the best way to get started? Like, get noticed, actually get, like...
Data director.
Do not follow that advice. That's very bad.
Do theater.
Take acting class.
So, you know, okay, and I know like we're not answering that, but to answer that, I kind of can go into how I got started. I actually was just an actor, and I was taking acting classes at an acting school, but it was like a commercial print modeling school, which is ridiculous because models, the 7-foot leggy brunettes that walk down the runway, that's them. And then there's me with a really interesting character face. And you go to a commercial print modeling school, and they're like, hold this glass of water and then act. And so I go, This water is so tasty. Okay.
Smile.
Right, like the Dentine ads with the beautiful bright teeth, right? Those are commercial print models. But there was a legit acting class there, and I met this person. Her name was Sharon Shaughnessy. She had a melted, buttery voice.
Yeah.
Old ADV films is where you find Sharon's voice. She's amazing. And she said, just to quickly answer that and also how I got started, she's like, oh, I'm going to give your name to the director over at this company called ADV Films. They were literally pulling people. They were pulling the artists from next door to come in and voice act because they didn't have anybody. Now it's a lot different. So I just kind of fell into it. I was an actor. I wanted to be an actor. I did everything I could get my little actor hands on. And I had done some commercials and whatnot. I'm a trained singer. I've used my voice my whole life. But I didn't know that there was like a career in voice acting. So I kind of fell into it. That's my story though. And there's probably better ones that can tell you how to get started. But I got started a long time ago. And just because someone was like, I think you're great, you've got a great voice, you're a good actor, I'm gonna hook you up with these people. And I was like, heck yeah, the end.
Yeah.
That is certainly one way. I think there's like not a set way, really. Like it's like you could date a director, or you could send your demo to studio. You know, like it's you can send emails. Like if you have a demo, you can send it to anybody who's like looking for talent. There's like a lot of different ways. I say the best way, like everybody's saying, is just like honestly, the harder you work on your craft and the more you work on perfecting it, the more people will notice. Like people won't pass up on good talent. Promise.
Isn't there a LA, like a voice actor's resource guide or something like that?
I want to be
it's
a
called
voice actor.com.
Oh, that. There's the website, I want to be a voiceactor.com, and there is like an actual the voiceover resource guide. They're both websites. There.
Yeah, sorry.
That's the practical part of looking as to become a voice actor. It's like Jessica said, learn how to act.
Yeah.
I
know that sounds weird, but that's pretty straightforward, and then go from there.
I would break it into 3 chunks, like acting classes, then get your demo produced, then start looking for representation, agents. But you can start immediately, like take whatever classes are local to you, and you can start on pay-to-play websites, which there's a whole bunch of caveats with that, but you can start on like, voices.com, stuff like that, which are like non-union jobs. And you need to also hone your skills as a self-engineer, like how to record from home. Do you have a closet that you can record from? Stuff like that. So you can get started literally right away, but I would really, learn what you're doing. Take some acting classes, take voiceover specific classes, and also take improv, because a lot of jobs are booked by, a lot of people can read a script the same way, but what you deliver, what you bring to the script to make it unique is really important. So I would also pepper in some improvisation and learn how to utilize that skill.
Yeah.
My name is Mark, and Griffin.
Yeah.
Loved your work in Fire Emblem Heroes, by the way, as Jewel is.
Thank you.
Second favorite character in the franchise. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Second.
What are you putting that hat in?
I was going to say,
violent there.
Who are you just
Second favorite character.
What character is this? Who are you? Like what character?
Fuminori from Sayonara.
It's a horror visual game.
One thing I would like to ask is, I kind of want to focus my voice acting in video games. How exactly would I go about auditioning for one?
So once you have an agent, and now I need to backtrack a little bit. So normally the traditional route is that you start with a commercial demo. That's normally your calling card to get an agent. So traditionally you'd send that out, you'd get representation, and once you're on a roster, at an agency, then they'll start sending you auditions for all sorts of genres. So you may come in and start doing commercials, but then they'll be like, oh, you'd be good for this role in this video game. So that's how I started. As time has gone on, and I've worked with different people, you start to get referred to other studios. In LA, there's a studio called Cup of Tea, there's PCB, there's a bunch of different studios, and sort of once you get in that network, you'll get auditions directly from those studios as well. So I know it's boring and not very sexy, but I would start with start with learning how to do commercials and just the meat and potatoes of voice acting. Cause
Something really sexy about commercial though is it pays really
yeah,
well.
it can pay really well. So that's sort of how I entered it. There are a myriad of ways, but that's how I started.
I think just as an addendum, to focus on games, especially when you like get that representation, you can literally tell your agents like, I do want to focus on working on games, like that's the goal, and they'll probably try to cater to that. It's the good part about having a team is like somebody can like handle that like for you.
Yeah, take the video game agent out to lunch.
No, legit. No, he's like do that.
Thank you.
Hello. Can't hear you.
To the mic.
Eat that mic.
I just have to wait myself out for that. Hello, my name is Blake, and I actually have a compliment and a question for Zeno.
Oh.
You look a whole lot more older in person.
Was that the compliment?
Oh, gosh. Not be a compliment at all. Why don't you rephrase it?
Why do you look so much older? I think is the question.
Where's the cosplay with the hatchet?
5 years old.
I'm not airbrushed like my.
We're not actually anime characters. I know it's hard to believe. I kind of look like one today.
Let's talk about the concept of time.
Oh, thank you so much.
And Zeno, if you guys haven't seen it, check out the movie.
Yes, please.
But I actually had a question about like how does it feel to like have like much more of like a role into like Transformers and like well-known products, because you're pretty much a face of everything now.
Oh, don't do that.
You're the face of everything. Would you be the face of me, please?
Yes, okay, you talk and I'll voice you.
Okay, yes, my name is Zeno Robinson, and I am the face of freaking everything. I have such a sexy voice. Let me answer this question real good for you.
What is this ASMR?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, like being a part of like a lot of like popular or like a lot of classic titles and franchises.
Ty from Digimon.
Yeah, like Ty from Digimon, for example, a lot, and a lot of it is stuff like I connect to because I grew up with it, so like it's easy to connect with. But it's a big blessing. It's like an indescribable feeling. Wow, I used to like watch this thing as a kid, and now being a part of the mythos like as an adult is like a really crazy feeling. Yeah, I love it. I'm having a good time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hello.
Hi.
Name's Dylan. My question was, how did y'all originally start morphing y'all's voices to, I guess, how y'all wanted them to be? As far as I know, and how I think of it as, you want your voice to be have a certain emotion attached to it. So with that certain emotion attached to it, you train hard and hard. So I was wondering how you might want to start off with that.
I mean, it's just, you said emotion?
Yeah.
I mean, that's where it's basically just acting. Because if you're acting and you're like experiencing it and you're feeling it, it will show up in your voice. It's just like when you are actually like having an argument with somebody or you're actually upset, you're not thinking, how is my voice gonna feel that way? It just does that. So it happens when you're actually feeling that way. So it's not really like a training to get your voice, and that's why it's important to take acting classes and stuff like that, because it's not that you're making your voice sound something, you are feeling that way, and then that way it shows in your voice.
Yeah, the misconception is that like if you can do funny voices, you can be a voice actor, and that could not be further from the truth. Like what ADR directors are looking for are specifically actors. Yes. They don't care what funny, wacky voices you have. So like what everyone just said, really hone your craft and be an actor. And that voice, the color, that all will come through the performance if you know what you're doing as an actor.
And not every acting program will be built this way, but for my particular training, the idea is to start with a baseline of being open and grounded, and then once you have that, once you are relaxed and grounded and speaking from a place of truth, then you can start engaging in other characters' truths and figure all this stuff out.
Thank you.
Serious mask right there. Oh, there we go. Bird Sora.
He's hot.
Bodily character haunts in my hair. How did I not recognize it?
Hi, I'm Christopher McClanahan. I have kind of like a couple of questions. What was it like to first start acting or voice acting? It's my first one.
What was it like to start voice acting?
For all of y'all, like, what was it like?
It was pretty incredible. It's
Awesome.
pretty cool.
Awesome.
It's probably the most fun. Like the hardest thing you can do as an actor is do stage work and perform. I do 8 performances a week where you have to show up, get in costume, drop in, and like put on a live performance like in front of people for whatever 2.5, 3 hours. Like that's crazy. The most fun I have when I'm acting is in the booth. That's great. I remember I was doing theater for a very long time in North Texas, and I was doing a show with someone, and I opened up the playbill on opening night, and I saw that they had all these Dragon Ball credits, and I was like, how did you get to do this? And it's like, oh, the studio's up in Flower Mound. And like, what? Like the only thing that's up in Flower Mound is the mall that Time forgot. Grapevine Mills Mall.
It's like every mall now.
They did, well, that's, yeah, anyway. The point being, I kept on doing theater and eventually did a show with somebody who was a director up there, and it's just, I don't know, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it felt like home for me when I first got there. It was like, oh, okay, yeah, this feels right. It's the introverts.
I had no idea it was a career path. I moved to LA kind of to focus on music, and I got this voiceover audition randomly and set up shop in my sister's closet and recorded it and booked it 3 weeks later, and I moved to LA with $1,000 to my name, and this job paid $1,000. So I was like, this is awesome. I'm exercising like skills that I sort of had honed from doing music, but it was just so creative and fun, so I wanted to learn everything I could and expand from there. But yeah, it's a great career.
I started as a kid, like I was 14 on my first job, so I was like, that was like a lot of that. Like, I didn't know really what it was. Like, I didn't know that like you recorded something and then months or years later it came out. I thought the voices talked to you in the cartoons as it happened. Yeah, oh yeah. I was like, this is how this gets done? I thought like they were talking at the same time as the picture was. Like, that's what I thought. So like I was 14 and I was doing, Benton with all these powerhouses. It was like Yuri Lowenthal and Ashley Johnson and Kevin Michael Richardson and D. Bradley Baker, who were all in the stuff that I was currently watching. Like, viewers like, oh, I'm Sasuke, just casually. And so I was like, my mind was exploding. So that's how I started at Cartoon Network, which I watched as a kid. So there's a lot of mind exploding stuff. And then it hasn't stopped to this day. I just worked on Dragon Ball a couple months ago, and that was the last time my mind exploded. So it doesn't really stop. Your mind explodes the first time, and then it'll keep exploding for the rest of your career.
We're about to lose Zeno. I'm like,
I'm powering up.
I have one more question.
there's so many people.
I think there's enough people, sorry.
Thank you.
Or you just like maybe line up again and then
Yeah.
Well,
You can always ask us.
we have time. We have time.
Yeah.
Hi, my name's Beth Ann. My question is a curious question just about cold reading in general. Is it ever challenging to, when you're like voicing your characters, is it ever challenging to like maintain your voice while cold reading?
I mean, that's like our job, though.
Yeah.
Because like we mostly don't even get like this. We don't know what even we're going to say, or sometimes what we're going in for until we're actually in the session. So that's just something you learn to do, and that's also why like improv is so helpful.
They give us reference material at the beginning of every session, so they'll have like some keeper takes from like your past sessions, and they'll always typically play them down so that you can repeat your lines and get into your voice, and then you go from there. So that helps a lot too.
The cold readings for auditions though, right? So if you're getting an audition, and that's going to be a cold reading because it's just you auditioning for the first time, and that's where, for me, that's where I really take my time to try to learn the voice of the character. What is the personality? Like Emi said earlier, I'm paraphrasing you, but it's a great answer about how you didn't say this, but my interpretation is like starts in your mind. Think about like this character is young and haughty or snobby or whatever, and I think, well, how would that sound in my head? and then the cold reading. And sometimes a lot of my auditions, it's the first take. Not because I'm great, but because I'm not thinking too much and I'm just reading it.
Because you're great.
That's not what I will say. Stop it. No. I'm saying like
just try to get like that.
No, you feel me, no. And like, who has not done this though? You're in your booth, right? You're in your, wherever you are. You're in your closet, you're wherever you are in your place to voice act. And you do it and it feels great, and you're like, let me just do one more take. And then 9 takes later, or is it just me?
No.
I was like, oh God, cricket. Like, and then I start chopping up the first one I did, or I start chopping up take number 4, and then I try to take the sentence I did in take 2 with take 7, and then I get the engineering, and then I'm like, oh, 2 hours have gone by on a side that was 3 sentences long. So, cold readings for me are a lot of fun, and I really do just try to jump in and hope for the best. And sometimes it works out, and sometimes it doesn't. But
I had a read that I did, an audition, and they really wanted me to have a certain amount of,
it's tendrils.
The drugs are kicking in.
Yeah,
where I did a read, and I was just doing my best of trying to get through it, and I kept stumbling over the whole thing, and I was like, but it needs to be this speed. And then I did the second take after I flubbed through for about 10 minutes. Took a breath and said, okay, this time I'm going to do it 10% slower, just 10%. And suddenly I hit the thing 3 times in a row without a flub. And I'm like, yeah, that's what you got to do sometimes. Just slow down, relax. It's not as fast as you think it is. It'll be fine. And it did. And I got the part. Yay!
Yeah, I think a lot of it's connection. Once you're like completely in it, even when you're cold reading, I feel like you'll still get a pretty good result. Yeah, it's less about like staying in voice and staying true to the character, in my opinion.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Hi, my name is Alejandra. I have a couple quick questions. One, I know you guys have talked a lot about like sending in demo reels, but when you haven't gotten any professional work, like what do you record for a demo reel? And the other thing is, a lot of your work, does it take place in your home studio, or do you go in somewhere to record?
Demo producers will write copy for you. Most of them, or well, some of them will. Like, you can get a demo made without having real professional work. They will. Their job is to recreate and make it sound like you've done these spots. That to answer your first question.
And you can also write it yourself. And if you're like auditioning for indie projects, it's also a good way to kind of get some stuff in a little reel. Just so you can say, hey, I've done character work before. That's also a good way.
I just made up my own stuff.
Yeah, I made my own.
Yeah, and then when I would book something, and it would come out, I would replace a piece, and then eventually you replace all your own stuff, and you have a demo reel.
You can also, if you're looking for fresh material that necessarily hasn't been animated yet, you can pull from comic books and manga.
I did that.
Pull speeches from them.
And just like change stuff around.
Edit them a little
Yeah,
bit,
so it's
change
not.
the names.
So it's like, oh, this person played Spider-Man for it. Well, same question.
Do you do a lot of your work now in like home studios, or do you still go into a studio to do work?
I guess it's been both for me now. Yeah.
A lot of
I'm at
things in
home.
studio, especially in Texas.
Yeah, mostly from home.
Home studio, have a studio.
Since
for a while.
COVID. Yeah, since COVID, I mean, I feel like almost everything's from home. Yeah, or you have the option of always doing it from home, typically. Sometimes they'll require you to come in, but I wouldn't, if you're seriously pursuing it, I would invest in a nice home studio.
But isn't that going away, like in the cases of Crunchyroll? They're talking about having people come in.
Yeah,
Everybody's
Crunchyroll
going
pretty
in.
much all in
Varies.
Yeah,
From studio to studio.
There's line producing because
It's basically new roles at Crunchyroll you have to go in.
Yeah, essentially.
Okay.
If you're reprising, then you can do remote,
Yeah.
because you are already that character.
Yeah, it depends for the job. Like sometimes, if Marvel's like, we want you to work, I'll be like, I'll do whatever, Marvel. I'll go in the studio, fine.
Flight twin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to fly to LA for stuff.
Yeah. So, it depends.
Okay, cool, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Hi guys, my name is Fabian. I had a question. It's been answered already. So you guys have fun when you're recording, I would say yes to
I'm so
that.
sorry, I can't hear you.
Do we have fun when we record the
So
food?
you guys are having fun, right?
Yes.
Do we have fun when we're recording?
Sometimes.
Yeah. From the director.
Last
regarding that question, is there any time that you don't like being in there, like something negative has affected you in the booth?
I mean, all the time. If you have to work with Aaron Roberts as a director, you're not going to
Listen, I'm a very hands-off.
I mean,
you know, very little direction. I'm not cheerleading.
I once had to work in an 85-degree booth for about a 5-hour session, and it was miserable.
I worked a show that I didn't like. I'm not going to say the name just to protect my career. I worked a show where I didn't like the story. I didn't like the script, and every cue, without fail, was short. So I had to speak every line because the director I was working with didn't want to rewrite the whole thing, which I wanted to do. But you know, the director kind of gets the say. He didn't want to rewrite anything, so I just had to speak inhumanly slow every cue on this show. You
Shatnered it.
So yeah. That's what we have to do sometimes. Not our job.
I played a bit part in a show where the first couple lines that it was for dub, but the first couple lines that I was recording were all off camera, so I couldn't see the character at all. It was just based on what was happening in the J. And so I recorded those lines, and then I saw this guy on camera, and it looked nothing like it's that sound, the way that he looked, and I couldn't read. I guess I started my body, my intuition and everything was trying to fight to modulate what I had done to fit this guy's face and his body, and I could barely get words out of my face. And on that day, that show, that director, that session, I didn't feel like I had the agency to say, hey, this other stuff we just recorded sucks, and I'd like to go back and do it.
Yeah, can I go back and do that over?
Did they let you?
No, I didn't say anything. I mean, I was just like, it was like, hey, is this character coming back? And like, oh no, this is a one-off. I was like, oh my god, thank you. I'm so glad that like, no one will know, like, this is listed as additional voices, no one will know I have done this.
Worst feeling is when you're like, you book a character and you're looking at it and you creatively are like, that does not fit. What are they thinking? I've done a couple of those where I was like, my voice isn't deep enough to play this character. I don't know why they hired me.
Also, they're like, just like, you know, you can have a bad day, just like, it's Austin Tindall, everybody. It's Austin Tindall. Oh, he's gonna sit right on.
You guys know what's
Let's ask Austin Tindall if he's ever had a bad day in the studio and how did he deal with it. Austin, say.
Oh, I think we need.
And how did you get your start in voice acting?
Also.
And you are a healthy boy. Okay, here we go.
Are you saying I have a bony butt?
You have a bony ass. It's
And
fine.
you
I
look
can take it. And
Also
wow,
you look older.
you look nothing like the characters you voice, Austin. Why is that?
Nothing like your headshot.
Yeah, I aged. I don't look like my characters. I started in theater. Every time I go in the booth, I enter a trance-like state, and I don't know what happens. I come out hoping that everything worked out. Did I answer that question?
Yeah,
That's
man.
good.
Yeah,
Actually, I have one addendum to that. I had a director once tell me point blank that I sounded too gay to be a voice actor.
Wait, what'd you say?
I'm sorry.
But I sounded too gay.
That is fucking rude. I'm sorry. That's rude.
Very exciting and very eye-opening moment. Yeah.
And then you never wanted to work with them again.
Oh, ever. Yeah. But just know that like stuff like that will happen. The point is like, just know that they're wrong.
Yeah.
One person's opinion of you does not dictate who you are or dictate your career.
Yeah.
If you disagree with someone, don't believe them.
Simply.
Believe them or not.
Oh yeah, don't you love those sessions where they ask you to put on a really, really offensive Asian accent?
Oh my god! I once had an audition where I did the whole read. They loved it, thought it was hilarious, and then they literally, that was so great, Oscar. Can we try that one more time with an Asian accent? And I said no and walked out.
Hello, my name is Seth, and I was wondering if you had any, I actually just forgot my question. Okay, I just remembered it. Do you have any tips when it comes to looking for a coach for voice acting or elocution?
Looking for a coach. Where do you live?
I live in Houston.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a few there.
Okay, so voice acting or vocal coaching or what?
I want to do the
both?
coaching. I need to.
Honestly, so like when I was looking for a vocal coach in Houston when I lived there for a while, and I went to University of Houston and went to their graduate program because there's like cork boards or I don't know. Cork boards. What are they called? The thing with the cord.
Cork boards.
Cork boards. But people who are shut up. This is true. And also, I've never worked. Okay, the reason why I said that a minute ago is because I've never worked with you, and I'm jealous.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, if you work with Aaron Roberts, blah blah blah. But I was just acting out because I've heard you're a wonderful director. I have ADHD.
I would do the same thing, honestly.
So back to Houston. Back to Houston. Yeah, but like they solicit voice acting. They're students in school. They're going through. They're also putting themselves through school. And you can find a really good voice teacher or vocal coach at a university, at a college. So I did that.
Yeah, my friend Allison Pistorius just became a theater professor down here at the University of Houston.
Would she do private coaching? Because I got a bunch of people that have that same question.
Yeah, I think she'd totally do private coaching.
Awesome.
Come up and take the table. Give me your email. I'll put you in touch with her.
There you go. His autograph table. Later. Yeah. Later.
Favoritism.
Hi. So my question is like if you are brain. Okay. What are some like qualities that you want to look for in like an agency or representation?
Oh boy.
Like I have a commercial reel, and I just like Googled, like voice acting representation or whatever, and like I get these. The results that come up are like they want you to pay or
Yeah, you shouldn't have. Yeah, you should never have to pay to be in an agency. Agencies should only take 10% of whatever you make. Anything more than that is also sketchy. I personally was told looking for agencies, any kind of agency. I had an IMDb Pro account, and I would look up other actors who were doing the type of work that I want to do, and then see who they're signed with.
That's a good idea.
And be like, oh, this person is working in all of these. Who are they with? And then I'll try to submit to that agency or get into that agency. And if and so you kind of accumulate sort of a list of agencies you kind of want to be with.
Normally there's front runners in every major metropolitan area, so you can actually have an agent you can have regional agents. You don't have to just be loyal to LA or whatever. I have an agent in Portland and Denver and etc. So when you search sort of those specific cities, you're probably going to find whoever the front runner is. It'll probably come up first. But yeah, look up other actors, but don't hesitate to submit all over, because only a fraction of my work is LA, and a lot of it's from San Francisco and elsewhere. So it really fills up the pie chart when you're trying to do this full time.
Yeah.
No, you go.
I was not to be that guy, but to throw that question back at you is what do you want from an agent? Because there's different types of agencies too, and if you have meetings with people like that and you're like, oh no, these two people are really good, but I don't know which one to pick, which one do you think will benefit you the best? So if you want, if they're more of a commercial agency or they do video games and that's something that you want to do, then you want to pick that person rather than cartoon or this kind of work. So it kind of depends, and also are they nice people? Are they people who you're not going to be afraid to email and be like, hey, I can't make it to this thing or whatever it is. You want to know if that agency is a good fit for you as a person as well. Yeah. If you have the luxury of getting, that kind of choice. Because sometimes you have to bite the bullet a little.
I recently learned that I like working with agents who I can actually talk to. I would, but as an actor, be like, oh my gosh, no, they're so scary. I don't want to email them or ask them anything. And then I got an agent who I could text, and I was like, oh, this is cool. Yeah. This guy's cool. I don't want to work with the agent who terrifies me anymore or gives me an attitude. I'm your client. Let's be working together.
They work for you. You don't work for them. Yeah.
I mean, I can only speak to the Texas market specifically if you're trying to find something here, but almost every agent is going to get you in front of the same sets of eyes and ears for the most part. I went with my agency because I wanted to have a very close Jerry Maguire relationship with them. I need to be held and told that I'm beautiful.
We all do. We all do. I agree with
They
you.
had me at hello, Mary Collins.
Oh, same.
So do you all get held and told you're beautiful? Is that a thing?
I'm quitting my agent. My agent slaps me.
Wow, that's so cute.
My agent hates me.
Let me text my agent and be like, you don't hold me enough, bro. I request a beautiful text after I book every job. We need to be told beautiful.
I'm with the wrong agency.
I will do whatever.
Do you guys want to do a speed round of questions? I think we have like 10 minutes left.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm messing around so much.
I would like to add one more thing to this though. Is I know that the questions here is mainly to do with anime, but this is a voice actors a panel. There are other things besides voice acting for cartoons that are available to you. There's like explainer videos, there's all kinds of commercials. There's plenty of things that not necessarily you would go through an agent, but you'd have to kind of go look out there on the independent market.
Yep.
That's also just, if you can get all of those ideas in your belt, then you have more of a ability to make a living doing this instead of just doing it, being able to just do cartoons and then that's it. So
I think no, I agree with that. Every person has their own market, but also their own sets of connections, and there may be connections outside of their purview that you may be able to get on your own that can be an addendum to anything your agent brings you.
Yep.
And I think that's an incredible point. Like, a lot of people want to focus on, I need the agent. And sure, they can bring you a specific set of opportunities, but there are opportunities outside of them.
I actually just got an agent a year ago. So I booked a lot of work before getting an agent.
And
I got an agent because I wanted more opportunities on top of it.
Adversely, remember my origin story, I didn't work for 7 years. I was with an agent. I started working off on opportunities in studios that they weren't connected to start getting my foot in the door into studios and my name around before stuff started picking up at the agency.
Cool.
Sweet.
Speed run.
Hi, I'm Patrick. I had a quick question for what would be a rough percentage of the actual amount of voice acting work that goes into sitting down in studio recording or doing it at the studio booth as compared to other things that might be included in it? Or other aspects of voice acting that don't just include recording.
So how much time do we spend in the booth recording jobs?
Yes.
Most of it's just getting rejected from auditions.
Yeah.
Oh, that's most of it.
Yeah. 90% is probably auditioning. Yeah.
The other 10% is crying when you don't get the job.
I
And the other 20% is learning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sophia, and my question is, what are some things that y'all do to take care of your throat?
Loquat is a black sludge. It's a tiny syrup. The root of it is what is black licorice root called? Not Anaheim. Disney. What? No. It's the root of whatever black licorice is. It's really good for your throat. Now don't go grab a bag of black licorice and eat it. It's called Loquat, L-O-Q-A-T. Amazon sells it now. It is elixir of the voice gods.
Yeah.
Yeah, and throat coat tea also. Throat coat. It's nasty, but it's good.
40-minute cool up, 10-minute cool down.
Also tailored towards whoever you are. If you're me, you don't do anything, and then you don't get work from me.
Maybe sad, Claire.
If you're me, you give it 100% and destroy your voice, and then you regret it later when you're drinking tea to work later in an hour. So hot tea, honey. Yeah, I'll Loquat. I drink it like it's soup. To prevent the previous thing I just said.
I marinate ginger in peipacoa. And I chew on that in the booth. And the ginger juice is I guess that's what I'm saying, yeah. Anti-inflammatory. So that's the same thing. Yeah, but it helps me destroy my voice a little bit longer.
Wait, what is
I
I need to take that advice, yeah.
What was the paper?
All ruining the higher registers of our voice every day.
It's
an herbal mix.
Thanks for your question.
It's that.
Yeah. Who's next?
It's that weird Chinese honey that they have.
Yeah, the little ones, yeah.
Is that
Okay, moderator.
Yeah, no, Griffin's like, leave that, like, way to go. It's time to go 20 minutes now.
I got you lunch.
All right, hello, my name is Shannon. Lots of my know me as the yeller downstairs.
Nice.
So that was actually one of my questions, but I did write enough to have one else. What is your quickest script turnaround time?
What does that mean?
For like an audition?
Same day.
Yeah, like so if somebody come up to you and say, hey, we have the script for you to read, but you need to do it within like the next 10 minutes.
Oh. That's how it works.
10 minutes. Yeah. I once recorded the entrance music when Ted Cruz was running for something. I recorded his entrance music. And I donated some of that money to some good people. Okay.
Yeah.
But I had to like. He's a piece of trash.
Hush over the crowd.
Listen, you gotta make a living. It was a long time ago. I might do it again. But yeah, basically I had to sing the. I had to sing instead of "She's a Maniac," "She's a Maniac," because I guess Trump called him a maniac at some point in time. So he wanted to have his entrance music be "He's a maniac, he's a maniac," and so I I recorded an audition. Then within an hour I had to be at Dallas Audio Post.
It's a great story.
That's
All right, so we're going to burn you at the stake.
Actually, I have one. Everyone, his table is, and this is where.
I got a role one time because I was just in the hallway.
Brad's hallway?
It was
I'm going to moderate again. Thank you for your question.
Yeah. So literally that day.
Can you do a weird voice?
Same day.
Mark here again. We talked about demo reels just a little bit ago. I was recently involved with an indie project. It was kind of low budget, but I was wondering, for my demo reel, would I be able to use fan dubs of like comics or something?
No.
Or something like that?
No.
Don't do that because we know at least the one person who did a fan dub and ended up getting pushed out later because of the fan
jobs. Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
I think our panel's over, you guys. I think it's supposed to be done 5 minutes ago.
No, we have 4 minutes.
No, it's supposed to end 10 till the hour for the
That's
next
a
person to
weird
set up.
time.
I mean, we can keep going. No one's taking us out.
Is there anybody lined
to
up?
my sound check for the concert,
Yeah,
pretend I can play an instrument.
Sorry.
Ask us more questions.
Come see us at our tables. Come see us at our tables. Thank you, everybody.
I'll be in the dealer's